Alright, it's that time again. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining. Raz, good to see you, buddy. Hope you have a good time in the verse with hopefully me on the background for a little bit there. Tonight, what I want to do is build another system. So we'll get our hands, hopefully not too dirty, with some hardware again. I've got this funky socket 3 board, a lot of CPUs as you can see lying around. Let's get over to the main scene. Some memory, which I'm pretty sure works, but we'll see how that turns out. I've got a Tseng ET4000 card. It's the baby brother of the card we used earlier, the ET6000. The old trusty Sound Blaster Pro is back, and we'll eventually, hopefully, we'll be putting it all together in the same cases in which we built the Socket 7 system previous time. At first, let's take a little look at the motherboard. It's a Zida 4DPS, also known as a tomato board. I'm not sure where that name came from, but let's bring it up a little to the camera. As you can see, it's filled with jumpers, and that's also where the stream title came from. We're going to have a lot of fun with these jumpers because if we want our CPUs to run, we will need to make sure the jumpers are all set properly, and it's this set of jumpers which will configure the CPU settings. I hope, but we'll check before I boot it up, that it's configured properly for this AMD DX4100, which is in there right now, because that's what it came with. I'll show you the jumper layout and settings shortly. Other than that, I've got this new thing I wanted to try. It's a Gotek floppy emulator. You can stick it on the floppy connector and put in a USB stick with all diskette images, and you can switch between 1,000 different floppy images on pretty much the fly, so that will make a lot of things a lot easier. I've preloaded the USB stick with several of them, so we'll see if it works out. If it doesn't, we'll still have the original floppies to use. Some other stuff. I've got some exciting other things planned for later streams. Nightweller has been so kind to provide me with a big box of stuff. Let me see if I can show it under the camera just a little bit. It's all still packed and wrapped, but he sent me this huge box with CPUs, memory, video cards, sound cards. So that's stuff I intend to go test on stream eventually. I've ordered this unit. It's a box with 100, or give or take, floppy diskettes. It might seem fun. I'm not sure yet if I want to do that, but it could be very boring. It might seem fun to go check their contents live on stream. It could also be very dangerous to do that. Who knows what kind of raunchy 90s pictures will end up with. And other than that, once this system is installed, I want to go and play one of my favorite games of all times, which I showed last stream as well, TIE Fighter. And to do that, because it's not really playable with the mouse and keyboard, I've purchased this unit, and let me see where I put it. There you go. An even fancier thing, which I hope we get running. This one, the Phoenix fire control system. But that's all stuff for later streams. What I want to do today is well, get the system running, test the different CPUs, and install at least DOS and some drivers so we can get the system ready for playing some games. Maybe this stream, maybe the next one. Not sure how long it'll all take. So without further ado, I guess let's see about getting this thing running. Oh, before we touch any of the hardware, let me show you at first what the front page of the manual looks like. It's a user-friendly guide, so let's hope it's actually user-friendly. And let me open the browser window with the actual manual real quick. There's one for you. These are the jumper settings we need for the CPU. So actually there's 3 sets of jumpers. Dark one is a closed one, and an open one is of course not an open one. Well, no, it doesn't have a jumper attached to it. I'll switch back to the camera real quick, because in order to get this all working, I've made maybe a bit of a mistake, but I've ordered 600 different color jumper caps. There's not that much jumpers on this board. There's not that much jumpers on any of my boards combined, so I should have enough for the foreseeable future. Let's see about these jumpers. Let me pull the manual back. What we have installed right now is an AMD 486 DX4100. Funny thing, you had the DX. Well, there's actually four types of the 486 CPUs. You had the SX, which was the base level CPU, which didn't come with a floating point unit coprocessor. The DX processor did. So DX were faster in pretty much every respect. You had the DX2s, which were ran at twice the speed of the frontside bus. So a DX2 66 runs at a 33 megahertz frontside bus times 2. So the CPU itself runs at 66 megahertz. DX2 80, same thing, 2 times 40. But the DX4 were actually not 4 times, but they ran at 3 times the speed of the frontside bus. So it's a bit of a confusing name, but I guess they didn't like the sound of the DX3, so they named them all DX4s. Let's take a look at these jumpers, right? We have installed an AMD DX4, but it's actually, let me show you real quick. And look at the processor. It says it's an SV8B, which means, hi Artie, good to see you, mate. Which means it's an enhanced AMD 486 DX4. So we'll need to look up those jumper settings for this one. Make sure we use the right ones. So for that we need to make sure the jumpers are in this order. Let's see real quick. You don't see my cursor? No, you don't. Do you see when I select this? I guess you do, but it doesn't really work well, so let's not do that. We've got this block on the top left, which should be this block right here. You know what? Let me try real quick to put this window to the side. Yeah, that's not really working, is it? No, let's put it back. We've got the set of jumpers with the JP9 on the top. That should be that set with the white jumpers on them. And there's JP30 and 27. I'll have to find those real quick. Yeah, that's I found them. It's these ones right next to the big metal thingy. And if I compare the jumpers real quick, just on my own screen, it looks like almost everything is in order. Seems to be one jumper in the wrong place, at least for that one. So let me pull that out real quick. I'm using pliers for these jumpers because, well, my fingers are a little bit too big for most of these things. This should be it, I think. Well, no, this one is also not supposed to be there. These should be the settings for the enhanced AMD DX4100. So let's plug everything in and see if we get it running. Device, good to see you, mate. First things first, let's toss in a little stick of memory. These are both 32 meg sticks of fast-paced RAM. Should be the best available memory for this motherboard. 32 megabytes is more than enough for an MS-DOS installation. Also, even for Windows 95, it should work just fine. Let's see if we can get these things in. As I explained to you the other previous stream, these AT power connectors, they need to be connected with the black cables next to each other. If you don't, I hope you can see it. There's red on the outside, a white one, two black ones. There's two black ones here as well, a blue one, a yellow one, a red one and an orange one. They all correspond to the different voltages the power supply puts out on the different rails. Let me put this one to the side real quick. This one should go in here. These things sometimes make a really weird crunchy noise, but it should be fine. If not, well, then we'll have to figure out what to do for the remainder of the stream. So that's the power. Let's get the graphics card installed. As you can see, this board is well, pretty interesting for 486 board, because it has 3 ISA slots and 3 PCI slots, so we're pretty flexible in what to use for our graphics card and other accessories. Let's not forget the cooler. These units can run pretty hot, so let's see if we can get this one connected. Be easier probably if we remove the CPU first. These things just clip on. At least they should. Be very careful not to bend any pins on these CPUs. Okay. This isn't going to work because, as you can see, the clips do stick out pretty much. That means I can't get it in the socket anymore. So that's fun. Let's see if we can. We have one more option. I've got one more cooler. I'm not sure if the clips are any better on this one. These look slightly thinner. As you can see, they don't really overlap all that much. So let's see if we can put this one on there. And now, if I can still see where to put the corner of the CPU. Gotta remember that before I put this thing on. Because as you can see, there's a slight corner missing from the CPU. Which also corresponds with this corner here. So let's just put it in first and then see if we can put this thing on. There we go. Make sure it's still in. Yep, there we go. Let's hook the fan up to one of the Molex connectors. So we've got everything we need, I think. Let me rotate the board so I can actually hook up my VGA capture unit. And let's see if she powers on. This is always the scariest moment, especially for a stream like this, because well, anything can happen really. Let's move to the VGA scene and see what happens. There is, as of yet, no signal. Let's power it on. The fan at least starts spinning. I don't have a speaker connected, and I'm not sure if the card, I haven't tested the video card, so far nothing really seems to happen, which is always fun. Let's go and try a different video card, one which I know works, which is the ET4000 from the last system. I've not tested any of these parts, so yeah, pretty much everything can go wrong. This is the old card. The old card. It's actually newer than the other one, but this one I know did work. So if there's still no picture, it's quite possible that something else is making problems. Let's try it again. If you see something I'm forgetting, do let me know. Well then. This is fun. I'm going to check real quick with an external monitor just to check that it is not my capture device that's acting up, which is quite possible for one of those cheap ass units I got. Yeah, fun times. When it works, it's all fun and games, but when it doesn't... Okay, so the other screen is also not giving any image. Let's see what could be wrong here. Unhook the power. Let's move back to the hardware overview. Unhook the screen from here. So far we haven't really established anything yet. Apart from that, put together, this stuff isn't really working yet. Let's try one of the easiest things and switch out the memory module. I think these can only go in one way, but I'm not quite sure. Alright. They can actually go in both ways. Not sure if that matters at all. Careful there. Let's hook up the unit again. If that's not it, let's take a quick look at the manual again. Maybe I've overlooked something. Let's make sure you get to enjoy the tension with me. Well, what do you know? We've got something working at least. So now we know this collection is working. Let's try the video card I wanted to use. As I said probably a million times earlier, before you touch any hardware, always make sure you remove the power cord from the power supply unit. If possible, also touch it to get yourself grounded. Yeah, it's probably a dodgy stick. It's also interesting that this one reaches 8 megabytes, because I was pretty sure it was more than that. Well, 8 is more than enough for what we're going to do with it. My first PC was also 486. It was a 486 DX40 with 4 MB RAM, a 213 megabyte hard drive. It did have a CD-ROM drive already, I think, and it came with, I think, a Trident or an S3 video card with a whopping 1 megabyte of video memory. Let's get to the VGA scene again. This one also is working. So we've got the base things going, at least. Let me remove this one. Let me remove that ET4000 real quick, because we won't be needing that anymore. If you were here the last time, I haven't been able to revive the Voodoo card yet, but the system itself ran when I removed the Voodoo card, so that one was being troublesome. What's up next? There's a couple of things we can do now. I can build the entire system into the case, but that it's going to make it extremely hard to test all the processors. So I think we'll be just going by all the processors first, and then see about building the entire system later. So let's do all the DX4100s first, so we can actually make sure before we have to change all the jumpers again. We'll have to turn them back, change them back anyway. So we know this one is working. This is another DX4100. This is the NV8T model. This one was the SV8B model. This has to do mainly with the cache, on chip cache, and the type of cache it had. One was, I think, right through cache, and the other was right back cache. One is better than the other. I don't remember which one, but yeah, it was slightly faster. CPUs like this needed a cooler. Older, less powerful 486 CPUs don't need a cooler yet, but these units are pretty old, so let's just, for safety's sake, put a cooler on each and every one of them. Let's see if we can get the picture with this one as well. This one also seems to be working. There's a little more trouble getting through the screen. Not sure what's causing that. Let's boot it again, see if it changes anything. As you can see, the first one mentioned it was an AMD 486 DX41 or DX4S. This one isn't a regular DX4. Well, something not quite right with this one. It might have to do with jumper setting after all, so we'll look into that later. Because when I look at the manual with the DX4, regular DX4 and the DX4 enhanced setting, so we might check the regular DX4 setting after this. Let's put in the last of the DX4s first. This one is working. Put it right here. Gotta be careful not to break these clamps. Because this plastic is also 30 years old. Causing me a little trouble, at least my fingers. Just clip my nails, so it's tough getting them in between there. There we go. Pulled out the entire cooling block. It's reasonably warm. expect. Let's try the last one. This is also another one of those first types, the SV8Bs. The most important thing to watch for on these processors is, as you can see there, the voltage. These ones run at 3 volts. And a lot of other socket 3 processors run at 5 volts. If you run these units at 5 volts, they're bound to fry. Okay, this one won't fit. I can tell why. See those pins? These aren't supposed to go that way. Let me see if I can get them straightened out without breaking them. It's also always a lot of fun with these things. If you snap one of them off, you can throw the processor away. This should hopefully fix the fitting. There we go. But as you can see, I put it in the wrong direction. I'm not really sure what happens if you do that, but let's not test that today. Might also risk the motherboard. Oh, let's see what's behind door number 3. Another one of these DX4S CPUs. Which gets through post just fine. It's about to go whine about not finding a keyboard probably. Let's not wait for that. So it might just be that the other DX4 is actually working, but it's not the right jumper settings for it. Let's go and try it to fiddle with those jumpers. In order to do that, I need to take a closer look. Let's remove the video card. And move this unit over here. See if we can get you out. Also working. Okay, let's see about the settings for a regular DX4 instead of the DX4 100. There's a lot of things I need to change, I see, especially on the on both jumper blocks actually. So I'll just put this window on my second monitor and make you see what I'm doing. We can try zooming in a little bit, see if that makes it easier for you to see. I'm not sure what that does with the camera fidelity, but here we go. Of course the motherboard is upside down for me now, so that's going to be fun. Let me move the entire thing around. Let's not make any mistakes here. So the jumpers, we need to change our this one, this one. This one just needs 3 jumpers removed. The 3 on the top right. That's 1. There's actually actual jumper pliers, but I don't have any of those yet. So I have to make do with these units. If that doesn't work, let's just try and put a little screwdriver under the edges. Make sure they don't fly off. That should do it for that one. The other set, this one, will need to have just 1 installed. These bottom 2 ones can be removed. Pull out this one. Oh, don't drop it. You can also come out. And we'll need to rotate that one 90 degrees clockwise. Yeah. Let's pull it out. For stuff like this, for you guys to see properly, it would really help if I had the camera on a different position, but sorry for that. I don't really have an option for that at the moment. This one should go. The second one from the top, right there. That should do it for the jumpers as far as I can tell. Got that one and those 3 installed. It's really hard to see for you where the jumpers are installed right now. It'd probably help if I tilt the board a little bit. Not very much, I think. Sorry for that. Let's see about getting this thing fired up again. Gotta put the board on a little, what you call it, little riser, so we can actually insert the video card. Because as you can see, well, let me zoom out first. No, you don't want to zoom out? Okay. There we go. This part of the bracket sticks out quite a lot and it doesn't really work. If it's pushing the entire board up. Let's see. Card is in, cooler is in, memory is in, CPU is in, jumpers are in. As we Dutchies like to say, kijken wat hij doet. Let's see what it does. Well, that's not happening. So let's turn it off real quick. Feel if it hasn't warmed a lot. It doesn't. I guess this processor is just going on the... I'm not sure. if we're ever going to use you, stack. Let's see. Now then, we're going to switch to one of the other processors. Let's start at the low end and put in the 486 DX. Focus 33. As you can see from the single 3 there, the other one has been kinda scratched off. Maybe this isn't really the most interesting part about the stream, but I've got to test these things anyway, and might as well do it with someone watching. So, installing the DX33. Let's see what we need to do for jumpers. So this is all AMD and Cyrix CPUs. I'll need an Intel DX. So it's the second row, first one, DX, DX266. It's completely the same, which is odd, as that one, the AMD DX, DX2, DX4. And I think I might have, no, it's not that. Okay, it's not that. But I was thinking I might have forgotten the voltage selection. Let me see if I missed anything else. So we've got the layout with all the information, jumpers, cache RAM, maybe something interesting to show you. Cache was actually separate modules back in the day. Let me pull you apart. These 4 modules actually had to be filled. You could buy the motherboards with or without cache installed. So this one has all modules filled. These modules are, not sure if I can make anything from that. Nope, I can't. Could probably look it up, but I'm not going to right now. Let's get back to the manual. So we have this list. We know we've got to use the DX, DX266 settings, because as far as I can tell, it's not an enhanced DX. And the voltage, which is a good thing to check out. The voltage for this one should be 5 volts, as far as I remember, but let's pull it out and see if it says anything about it. It really doesn't. So just for this time I'm going to look it up real quick, because yeah, better be safe than sorry. And not break anything. This one operates at 5 volts, while we had the other ones running at 3 volts. So it's good thing we looked it up. Doesn't really matter if we fire it up at 3 volts. It just probably will not work. So we'll need to fix the voltage selector jumper, which is, where are these guys? we need 30 and 27, which are also in the bottom of this this overview. You've got the big block, 2 big blocks, and the bottom one is also jumpers 30 and 27. So it's interesting that they both say they're there, and jumper 28 as well, which is the jumper block on the right of the second big block, the right big block. So in order to change to 5 volts, we need to switch jumper 27, and we'll need to put in both 28 jumper blocks. So let's grab my jumpers back. Let me show you what I'm doing. If you have any questions for me, don't hesitate to ask. I'll be happy to at least try and answer them. I'm not the oracle of retro PC knowledge, but should be able to answer quite a lot of them. So this should be block 28, as far as I can tell. Yep. It also matters. The orientation of the jumpers also matters. So if you have to, if you can, like you can see at the 5 volt part, jumper 28 needs them both arranged vertically. If you put them in horizontally, they well, connect different pins, and they might cause trouble. Also need to figure to change jumper 27. Let me see. What was that one again? So that one. Should be this one over there. So let's do one final check if I got things right. These things are in place. There, there, and there. Let me show you. There, there, there. The one on jumper 11 is in place. That's that one right over. That one right over there. The 2 jumpers for the 5 voltage. Jumpers 28 are in place. So those 2. And the jumper 27 one is also in place, which is that one. This one should be able to run without a cooler, so let's just try that. It's not like I really intend to run this one in any of my systems anyway. Let's just risk it for, well, for what? Let's just risk it. I say, gotta have a bit of excitement in the stream, right? So let's move to this screen. See what happens. You know what? Let's keep it on here, just in case something interesting happens. Well, no sparks, nothing blowing up. As you can see, we have a working 486DX at 33 megahertz, which was exactly what we configured. So good on us, actually. Let's turn it back off. And go for the next one. This is taking quite a bit longer than I anticipated, but that's okay. I'm enjoying myself so far. I hope I'm also entertaining you somewhat. I hope at least my voice isn't all that annoying to listen to. So we know this one's working. Let's put you on the working pile. Okay, what shall we do next? I've got a Texas Instruments 486 DX280. I've got a Texas Instruments 486 DX266, and I've got an IBM, which is actually a Cyrix processor, as far as I can know, which should also be a DX22 or DX266. This is going to be interesting because I'm not quite sure what the Texas Instruments processors fall under, so I'll need to look that up real quick. Oh, it's also actually a Cyrix CPU, so that saves us a lot of hassle with configuring, hopefully. So let's see what voltages these guys require. As you can see, this one actually says 3.45 volts, but that's not an option we have. We have 3 or 3.3 and 5 volts. There's actually an asterisk at the voltage, but I'm not sure what it's supposed to, what it means. Well, doesn't really matter. These both have 3.45 volts. I expect the IBM to have that as well, but let's look it up real quick. It's an IBM Blue Lightning CPU. Let me see what I can find about it. Doesn't really say anything about the voltage, which is annoying. Let's find another page. There's all these museum pages, but they don't really say anything about it. But as it states here, it's exactly the same as a Cyrix DX266, which runs at 3.45 volts. So that should be running at 3.3 volts on this motherboard. Let's figure out the jumper settings for the 66. And I think it doesn't really matter. Both the 66 and the 80 should auto detect. So we'll need to use the Cyrix 486 DX2 DX4 settings, and we'll need to switch the power jumpers back to 3 volts. So let's do that first, before we forget that. Let's zoom in a bit again. The power jumpers were the jumpers 28, that block over there. For 3.3 volts we need those empty, and jumper 27 moved those spots. So these ones were the 28. Let's be empty. Come on. Could be some finger work there. And jumper 27 was, which one again? Was that one? Right. Should go on the pins through 2 and 3 of this one. Okay, that's that. Let's see about all the other ones, because I need to put in a lot more. Let's look at the jumpers 9, 11. Weird positioning they have. We've got 9, 11, 7, 17, 28. We'll need 3 for those, which is 11 at the second and third, 7 at the first and second, 17 at the second and third positions. The 11 is already in the right spot. Seven should go right there. And we'll need 17 to go right under 7. Like that. It's actually a little less trouble than I thought, all these jumpers. So much for that. Let's look at the 6, 14, 15, 3 and 10. We've got one in 6, but the one we've got is on pins 2 and 3. If we count from the top, we'll need it on 1 and 2, so let's remove that one first. 14 is filled, that's okay, and after that we'll need 3 extra jumpers. On 15, 3 and 10. Pull you out. These jumper caps actually are very boring, really, because all they do is have a connecting wire, which makes sure the 2 pins you put them on are connected, so they actually create a connection. So we'll need 3 more in there. In there. Times like these I wish I had a little bit smaller hands, but it's working. So that should do it for the jumpers. Let's start off with the IBM CPU. Check out the pins. They're all straight. At least they look straight enough to have it go in, but it doesn't feel like doing that. Let's see if there's something bent after all. It's gonna be pretty hard to see, but especially when the camera doesn't focus. Shouldn't be proving that difficult. There we go. For this I'm going to put the cooler on. this one can run pretty hot. Maybe a fun thing to know. These CPUs, let me look it up real quick. Let's see what power they use. Typical power 4.88 watts and maximum power 6.3 watts. Well, if you compare that to modern CPUs, that is insanely low. I think my Ryzen 7 7700X has a top, or top, I'm not sure if it's top, but it's built to run at 120 watts. So yeah, that is an insane difference. Let me zoom back out quick. Switch to the VGA screen and see if this one feels like powering on. It does. Well, yippee. And the fun stuff is, hopefully, we shouldn't have to change anything for the jumpers for the other two CPUs. So let's just move this one, put it on the working pile, as long as I don't screw up any pins right now. Careful. Let me show you what I'm actually doing. Well, time for this Texas Instruments DX266. I don't have to change anything, luckily. So it should just, if the CPU is good, it should just fire up right away. No sparks, no smoke, no fire. What have we got? An image. Right away. Good, 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 good. This board is actually really interesting because with most of these older boards you also had to manually set the frontside bus speed, but apparently this one has some form of auto detection because I can put in different types of DX2s and it still works and actually detects the proper frontside bus speed for it. So there's some magic going on inside here. Final one to test. Let's see what happens. Would have been fun if this one at least threw a little spark, right? Well, this is interesting. It registers as a 66 MHz CPU. Well, as far as I can tell, what do you know? I've just been forgetting to scroll far enough. So let's show you what I've been missing. There's actually an option for CPU frequency select. I thought I read through the entire manual, but so that this one is running at 66 megahertz now, so a front side bus of 33, and it can run actually at 40 megahertz. Everything so far has been running at 33 megahertz, so we didn't really 33 megahertz front side bus at least, so we didn't really notice any issues with it. As you can see, we run a DX33, DX266, two of them, and 3 DX4100s. So yeah, it's the front side bus at 33 megahertz was all fine, but now we need to set it to 40 for this one to actually reach the proper speed. So let's do a little more jumpering to see if it will also run at its speed it's supposed to run at. Let's find these jumpers first. We'll need to find jumpers 19 and 18. Let's look at the board map. 19 and 18 are right there on top next to the PCI slots. Should be these ones. Yeah, there's nothing in there at the moment, but we'll need which is odd that there's nothing in there. Maybe I've got the wrong ones. No, should be it, but as you can see, 19 is supposed to be a 6 block and 18 is a 3 block, but I don't see 18 anywhere. See if you can figure it out. Because that is 19, those 6 pins. But jumper 18 is missing, it would seem. There I can see jumper 18. I can see some connectors where there should be a jumper, but they seem to have been soldered shut. It looks like someone has been modifying this board for a little bit, but that's okay. We don't need that anyway, because the only reason why we would need to change that jumper if we were to set it to 50 megahertz, and we won't be doing that. 50 megahertz is troublesome front-side bus speeds, because a lot of motherboards and peripherals really have a lot of trouble handling that. So let's just set jumper 19 to 40 megahertz. Let me grab 2 fancy new jumper caps. Let's do black ones. To pay attention now, since the board is upside down. Normal orientation, I need the right 2 ones, but so now I will need the left ones vertically. So one is on. Let's put on the other one. There we go. Let's try this again. Now hopefully with a DX2 running at 80 megahertz. Let's fire it back on. See what happens. Still no sparks or smoke. Too bad. There we go. You see it's running at 80 megahertz now. So we have also solved that problem. Problem is a big word, but that issue. So so far so good, I guess. Managed to test every processor. We've got one that was causing a little bit of issue, but I'm not going to bother with that one right now because we've been going on for an hour and 15 minutes already. I need to take a quick pee. After that we'll install one of the 100 MHz DX4s again and start building the system into the case, I guess. So I will be right back. Take a quick drink. Make sure you do your own bio breaks, and I'll see you in a bit. Thanks. Alright. Thanks for sticking with me, everybody. It's now time to put back to put the jumpers back to the position for the DX4100 and start building the system into the case, I think. So let's go and do that real quick. I'm going to not pull the power supply completely yet, because I want to make sure it runs again when we put it back. One wise lesson I've learned is always make sure to test your system with the basic parts, at least outside of the case. So hey, you know, good to see you, mate. Make sure it runs. So let's see, what did we need again for the DX4100? We'll need to put in the frequency back to 33 MHz, which just means removing those two pins I just added. That's one. That's the other. We'll need to put the voltage back to 3 volts, because otherwise we're going to fry this unit. Oh wait, no, it was already on 3 volts, right? Yeah, we only had to put it on 5 volts for the DX33. So let's see, just put it on the AMD Enhanced DX4 settings. So I think we only need we need to change a couple of things. If we look at the jumpers 6, 14, 15, 3 and 10. 15, 3 and 10 are one row below where they should be, and 6 is actually one row above where it should be. So let's fix that. That's for the ones over here. For any young people watching, you don't know the half of how easy you have it nowadays with computers. Just put in the hardware you yeah, no, this one is from 86, I believe. No, 86, not 86, 96. So that's quite a while before you were born, I think. I can look it up. The motherboard should state when it was. No, it doesn't really. You really want to know? Just 11 years older than you, yeah, just a little bit, right? The CPU, let's see. Oh, nice, it doesn't say. Good. See, introduction, well, September 1994. The processor is from 1994. So that's even older. Okay, so we did jumpers 6 through 10. Now all we need to do is jumpers 17, 7, 11 and 9, which are absolutely not in the right position. We'll need to change 17, 7 is in the right spot, and we need to rotate the other one counterclockwise 90 degrees. As you can see, those were the white jumpers over here. So I need to move this one spots to the right. In this orientation at least. I need to rotate this one 90 degrees. That's the good one there. That should do it for the jumpers, as far as I hopefully correctly saw. Let's put in the proper CPU before we accidentally fry this one. Wouldn't want to do that, now would we? Make for an interesting stream maybe, but I do intend to keep my hardware alive. If I can. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, absolutely. For ease of use, ease of access, ease of, well, pretty much everything. Modern computers are so much better. So much easier to work with. But then again, I enjoy doing stuff like this. It's calming when it works, at least. When it doesn't work, it's pretty frustrating. But well, you know how that is. Just like programming, you know. When it works, it's great. When it doesn't, it can be pretty frustrating. We should have everything set up right now. So let's hook this thing up. Hook up the power. Let's see if we can get some picture going. Yeah, absolutely, and mainly for people who grew up with the machines. So it really is a hobby. Is something to keep yourself busy with. Something to spend way too much money on. And hopefully entertain some other people with. So it's still running, so that's good. Let's pull it all apart again. Well, most of it, and see if we can get it on in the case. It's not just 90s PCs, right? It's all a lot of stuff from back in the day. A lot of stuff people grew up with, and they have money now. So yeah, but cars have always been like that. I think, you know, there's still people, or there's always been people around who like old cars, who like working on old cars. And PCs haven't been around for that long yet, compared to cars. So it's a bit newer, a bit less everywhere yet. But yeah, if I had the money, I would probably pick up a nice old car as well. I think I'd really like to have a proper old Mustang, like an Eleanor from Gone in 60 Seconds. I think that's well, close to my dream car. Of course, it's going to be tough fitting 3 kids in there, but well, that's their problem, not mine, I think. But yeah, you know, all you need is money and time, and you can do a lot of stuff. And money isn't really an issue at the moment, luckily, but time is. Work family, and well, some friends who need some attention too occasionally. You mean electric cars and all the gadgety contents? So what we have now is a case, and we have a backplate, so we'll need to check how the backplate fit on the case again. So we hook up the motherboard properly. There's the backplate. That was one of the best things of the cases from back then. These backplates came out very easily. Yeah, I guess you're right. All my car experience comes from Car Mechanic Simulator, so I can't really talk about that. And well, replacing a wheel or tire on my cars, but that's pretty much it for me. So let's see, this one should go on like so. Let's see if we've got all the standoffs in place. I think we're going to need one or two more. And it doesn't really match up with all the spots, but that's not too bad. This is a really tiny motherboard actually, so it's pretty hard to get them in the right spot. Yeah, well, I'm not going to claim that Car Mechanic Simulator is actually a good experience. It probably taught me some things about where some parts go, but I don't think it's well, it's something we can what do you say? I can actually use on proper cars. Yeah, some of them, the more expensive modern cases do come with that, but I misplaced my motherboard screws. Let's see where I put them. Maybe they are. Oh, they're in there. There we go. I'm going to clean up just a little bit because there's way too much stuff lying around here. We won't be needing this anymore. Put it over there. I had quite a big scare actually the other day. My main PC stopped working for a bit. Apparently it had some issues with too much USB devices being connected at the same time, which is something I've never encountered before. But I had a USB DVD-ROM, a USB floppy drive, and a USB SD card adapter connected. And it really had some issues with that. So let's screw this mister in place. It's actually only 3 screws I can... Oh wait, there's the 4th one. Ouchie, that's a hot one. Well, I'm not going to screw this one in because there's a capacitor in the way. I don't want to break that one. How did you fix the overheating? Did it die, or were you able to fix it? How did it happen? Did you manage to find that out? Well, figure that one out. So, that one is well, fixed a bit, but yeah, there's just no proper spots for the other ones to hook into. It's really a tiny motherboard. Let me grab the other one we worked on the other day. No, that one also was a tiny one. Let me grab this one, for example. This is something I hope we'll be streaming about later as well. This is a dual socket 370 motherboard, but if you can see how much bigger this one is. And it doesn't even have that much more slots. There's 5 PCI slots, 1 AGP, and 1 proprietary connector. The thermal paste shouldn't be getting old that quickly. So if it's drying up, then it's probably not connecting very well. So let's hook this thing up and hope the cards will keep it in place. This is going to be a bit hard to see for you guys, but what's going on here? There we go. But I'm not going to turn the case upside down because that will probably put some stress on the motherboard, which I don't want. Yeah, that's getting reasonably old then. Yeah. This stuff in place. After that I'm going to put in the power supply unit. Oh, this is not too smart, but I can still reach them, I think. What I wanted to do is actually replace the floppy drive with this unit. Yeah, I really want to do some things with my computer as well. I'm really not happy with the all-in-one cooler I'm currently using. I want to actually switch back to an air cooler. The airflow is good enough, so air coolers are actually often better than all-in-ones if your airflow is good enough. But yeah, I'm also too lazy to do that. Let's pull out this floppy drive. Let's see if we can get this Gotek unit working. Whoops. Always make sure you keep a hand on these units when you unscrew them. This one wasn't really enjoying getting pulled out. Gotek just has a floppy connector and a floppy power connector, so it weighs a lot less than a regular floppy drive. Also doesn't really look as good. I'll see if I can show you in a bit. Hope these screws actually fit, because these holes look quite a lot smaller. Yeah, they don't. That's nice. Let me see if I have anything smaller. Maybe these motherboard screws are smaller than that. No, it shouldn't be. Quick, see if we can get them to fit in these holes. No, we won't. You know what? I'm just leaving it for now. We've got to figure out if it works anyway. So let's just leave it hanging loose. Yeah, of course it matters what kind of system you run and if you overclock it or not. But most, if you have decent airflow in your case and you run a proper air cooler, not one of the cheapest ones, you should be able to do just fine with air cooling. Especially with prolonged use, often air cooling can be a lot better because the cooling liquid, the water in an all-in-one just heats up over time. There's nothing you can do about that. Let's get this power supply in place. Ah, shit. I forgot again. Last time when I was working on this case, I noticed I should have removed the case power button, but I didn't. And I forgot again, so we'll be stuck with the loose power button once again. But yeah, who really cares about that, right? So that's all in. Let's see about getting some things connected. This is actually one of the more luxurious motherboards, which has IDE and floppy connectors on board. If it didn't, let's see if I can find the thing. Probably can't right now. Well, you had these huge expansion cards for both ISA or Visa local bus, which had all these connectors on board. I can't. Oh wait, I think it's. No, it's not here. No, I can't find it for now, but that's okay. Yeah, that's not really a workable solution for normal usage, right? Let's see. First things first, I think we want to connect power to the motherboard. Already getting drowned in the cables. One of the greatest inventions of modern PCs is modular power supplies. Only use the cables you need and just don't connect anything else. One down, one to go. There we go. Let's see, what do we need and where is it? Let me look up the manual again. I need to figure out where all the case connectors go. If it has any at all. These are all jumpers, jumpers, jumpers. Let's scroll up a bit. Jumpers, still jumpers, still jumpers. Yeah, so we have a power supply. Yeah, we did that. We have a power LED, we have a reset switch, we have a speaker, we have a turbo LED and a turbo switch, but this case unfortunately doesn't have a turbo switch. But where are you guys? J3, J5, J9. Oh, they are in the corner there, next to the ISA slots. Should be right over there. Let's zoom in a bit again. Let's start from the top. J2. What was J2? The turbo LED connector. Well, that one we don't have, so it's going to be easy. What do we have? We have a reset switch, we have an HDD LED, we have a speaker, we have a power switch which we won't be using. We have a turbo LED which we won't be. Wait, it has a turbo LED, but it doesn't have a turbo switch. Nice. Yes, right there. Good to see you, mate. We're doing some 486 building. We've been doing a lot of testing. We've tested 6 or 7 CPUs, and now we're finally able to properly build. The turbo LED should go on J2, which was the first one, right? Yeah, the top one. And J1 is turbo switch, which we don't have. Next one is J5. J5 is the reset switch, which we also don't have, so leave that one out. And we'll get to J9. Probably the speaker. Yeah, it is. I really like this. These connectors. They're all separate, which is fun and good stuff, because usually they're just in one big block. After J9 comes J3. J3 is power LED and key lock. Key lock is fun. These old cases, a lot of them used to have a little lock on the front. I'm not sure if this one has. Let's take a quick look. No, it doesn't. Usually had a lock somewhere around the power button, and that lock caused, when you locked it, caused the keyboard inputs to be blocked. So you couldn't. It was not really that much of a security feature, but it's fun stuff. So we'll need it. What was it again? J3. Power LED and key lock connector. Where was the power LED? It's this one hanging out over here? Oh, that's just that. We don't have a power LED. Fun. Why don't we have a power LED? Oh, we do. There it is. This is getting hard to see. Let me go grab a little extra light. That should do it. The last one. Feels like I'm missing a lot, but should be okay. It's JP26. Why is it the jumper and not just a connector? It's the PCI IDE LED, which I think is just the HDD LED, so let's just hook it up anyway. So that should be that. Next thing is getting the IDE connectors connected. The IDE connectors are the big white pin connectors over there. Those ones. Oh, you can't see it from there. Let me zoom out just a little bit. Yeah, once you've got stuff inside the case, it's very hard to see. Need to make sure pins 1 and 2 are on the left from this side. These units should also normally be labeled. As far as I know, the colored side was the pin 1 side, but I'm not going to connect this one just yet because I really want to connect the compact flash adapter first, because that one should go in the primary IDE slot. Excuse me. I told myself I didn't want to hit the camera this time, but there we go. I failed. We aren't using any PCI slots, so I can just put this one in here. There's already a screw there. Really should ask Linus to sponsor me with one of them, his fancy screwdrivers. Let's see if the CF card still fits. Barely. So we're going to need another IDE cable for this one. I should have put it somewhere after the last build, but I'll be buggered if I can remember. Right? What? Ah, yeah, of course. It's right there. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun, especially a lot of space. This is going to be interesting to get them both hooked up. Always a lot of fun, these things. There we go. One down, one to go. This is probably not the smartest way to do this, but because I've also still got all the connectors to hook up. Or at least the PS2 connector, the serial connector. Yeah, now my big hands are in the way again. Can't see. These ports are really, really close to each other. Times like these, you didn't have put the power supply in yet. You know what? I'm just going to pull it out real quick. I feel the socket 7 was actually easier to put together. See, I've got more room to maneuver. No, you didn't. You know what? Let's just switch these around. I don't think it should matter too much if which one is the primary master, which one is the secondary master. Come on. Get in there. Wow, this is really, really crowded stuff. Well, that's in. Good enough, I hope. So now we've got these two units. Parallel, serial, and a PS2 port. I do hope this motherboard actually has a PS2 port connector, but let's check that out real quick. Yeah, it does. Well, actually it says it's optional. Should be the one labeled mouse. But where is it? It should be all the way over there, but it doesn't look like the connector I'm expecting, so I don't think that's actually the right one. Because as you can see, this one has maybe. There's 4 ports and then another 2. But I can only see a 4-port pin. It's actually 5, it would seem. So no PS2 mouse for me. Which is a shame, but I don't really need it. As long as I've got a serial port, so I won't be installing this bracket at all. I think it's got a serial and a parallel port on this one, which should suffice. I haven't really been into overclocking that much. I was way too scared that I would break stuff. Let's see if I can get these ones hooked up in between here somewhere. Probably out of there. Parallel should be the big one. Top one is the COM A. See if we can identify pins 1. Yep. And once again, I can't see a damn thing in here. There we go. Also still have to connect the floppy cable. Later motherboards had all plastic housings around the connectors, which made it a lot easier to put in the cables properly. Should do it. Now let's get that floppy connector in before I can't reach it at all anymore. There's really no other way to do this, no other. Have to get some things in first. There's no other order I meant. Wow. You just have to get the motherboard in first, because if you try to do this afterwards or before you put the motherboard in, you can hardly get the motherboard back in. This one is proven troublesome. I think I got it. Looks like it. Quick from this side, and from the other one. No bent pins, should be fine. Oh, good look at my receding hairline you got there. Okay, so that's that. Let's hook up the power to everything. Pull out all these cables first, get them sorted in the proper direction. Oh yeah, I need to remember to actually power the compact flash adapter. And, oh, excuse me, keep forgetting how low that thing is. It should have 2 floppy adapters because of that one extended. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if this one reaches. I hope it does. Right, this is going to be another tricky finger exercise. Let's see if we can pull it out first and then fix the power cable. Otherwise this is going to be tricky with my fat fingers. Probably missed this Strider, but I got a Gotek floppy emulator. See if we can get that working. So this machine has some modern quality of life improvements. The compact flash adapter and the floppy emulator. Well, that's that for power. Let's put in the expansion cards. Get the nice Tseng ET4000 AX, which is widely recognized as one of the best VGA cards for ISA VGA cards, at least. No, not the floppy drive, a floppy emulator. The Gotek floppy emulator is a USB device in which you can put a USB stick with floppy images on. So it's not an actual floppy drive. Where did my sound blaster go? There you are. Oh, sorry. Okay, I figured as much, but here we run into some potential issues with the motherboard flex, but should be fine. Yeah, I've got both a compact flash and an SD card reader, but I'll save the SD card reader for the Athlon XP build, which I think also just has SATA ports, so it doesn't really need one either, because I've got a SATA SSD. I think we've pretty much hooked everything up. So we see if it still feels like gracing us with its presence. Which one was it again? I think it was that one. Actually, let's at least grab the keyboard. Oh, might as well. Actually got delivered today with an actual driver floppy with it, which we can't use right now because I don't have that floppy drive installed. With a nice new old stock Logitech 2-button mouse. Clicky clicky. Let's hook this one up. Hook the power up. Switch to the VGA capture device and see what happens. It powers up at least. We're not getting a signal just yet. What could possibly be wrong here? Let's quickly check that it's not the capture card. That's being a dick. Fire it up real quick again. Nope, nothing's happening. I must have hit something when building it. I know what I missed. At least one thing I missed. I forgot to power the cooler. Which shouldn't be causing it not to boot, but I really need a bigger desk. You're probably going to hear me say that a lot more often. So this real quick. I don't think that's to be should be an issue, at least. Anything wrong with the power? Let's let me see real quick if I actually, if the LEDs aren't working. Or maybe I connected those things in the wrong way. not it, really. Great, troubleshooting. It's probably just one of the connectors that isn't really feeling it. I'm not sure how I will fix that. I could always try to install this unit, which is actually an ISA expansion card, but it only has one IDE slot, or IDE connector, and there's all kinds of jumpers which I don't really want to fiddle around with right now. So let's not do it right now. Let's just see if I can get all the connectors properly seated. Maybe just disconnect the drives for now. At least unpower them. Oops. Don't really need any of these front LEDs at first anyway. LEDs, sorry. LEDs is really a Dutch thing to say, I guess. Let's properly seat the cards again. It's not the power supply, I know this power supply is just fine. We also ran the K6 socket 7 system on there, so still nothing. Let's try putting the video card in another slot. Maybe that's because it used to be in the bottom slot. Remove the sound blaster for now. Sorry, you're not seeing much right now. I don't really feel like flipping the case over each time. Still nothing. I wonder what happened. If it's the video card we fried. Still no picture. Let's try a PCI video card real quick. No, definitely not. The black ones go together. Let's see if we can get some picture on the ET4000. Also not happening. I was pretty sure. I'm sure we tested it before I mounted the motherboard, right? Yeah, I did. So there's got to be something wrong with the things I connected. And I hope it didn't short anything. Let's just pull out all the connectors. Let's see what happens when they're all disconnected. Well, at least we've got picture back, so we know something with one of those connectors is not very happy. Yeah, well, this is still an AT power supply, so I've got my separate power button, which is one of the few advantages of the AT systems. But now we've got to figure out what the hell is causing the issue. Let's remove the video card again. Put in the old one. So we can at least rule out that's that one. And let me hook up the capture device real quick so you can actually see that it is booting now. What the hell is it standing on? See, there we go. So at least we know the motherboard is okay, at least the parts we're using right now. The memory is okay, the CPU is okay, the video card is okay. So let's see what the hell is not okay then. For speediness sake, I will not be showing every post attempt I'll be doing now, because it's going to take forever. Well, the CMOS battery is not an issue. I've got several lying around here. I can easily replace it. So I'm going to have to figure out which of the connectors is being a total dipshit. So let's just connect them one by one. Let's screw in the video card for its protection. Keep yanking out the VGA cable. The video card better be in place. Fixed in place, I meant. Okay, we still have picture. The serial connected. Let's hook up the parallel as well. I'll see you around Australia. Thanks for dropping by, mate. Take care. Good night. Yeah, we actually had some Cyrix CPUs we tested. Not Cyrix branded, but we had this one. A TI DX280, a TI DX266, and an IBM DX266. So still we have picture, so it's also not the parallel port. Which leaves probably these wonky and annoying IDE connectors. Well, the connectors aren't wonky, but their placement really is. Let's try this again. With only the DVD drive connected. See you around, buddy. Thanks again for dropping by. We still boot. Now we just keep adding things until we don't boot anymore. Try and add the second IDE cable. If I can still reach there. It's going to be pretty annoying. Careful there. Don't want to pull off any capacitors. Okay, that one's on as well. And we try again. We are still booting. Next step, let's power the SD card or the CF card reader. Let's see if we're still booting. We are good. All that's left is actually the floppy drive connector, so which is going to be really annoying to hook up, but should be able to. Excuse me, hitting the mic there. And the cam again, man, should put that thing even higher up. And I should not forget next time to remove the power cord while I'm doing this. It's still booting. I guess something will have been seated improperly. Last thing to do for now is hook up the power to the floppy emulator. Let's do this the proper way. Remove you because I can't reach it otherwise. These things are OLEX connectors are often so snugly in place. Tough to remove. Shouldn't really pull the cables. Let's use a bit of leverage. Nope. There we go. And if it still boots, then I think I will be, and also if it doesn't, I will be ending the stream soon. Because it's really getting near my bedtime. The kids will be waking me up quite early, I'm afraid. So, everything back connected. The only thing I didn't connect back up are these front panel connectors, but I don't really need them right now. And we're still booting, so that's a great thing. Let's hook it up to the keyboard and mouse one last time. Let's see if we can get something from that Gotek floppy emulator. Once that is done, I will be ending the stream. Unfortunately. Not as far as I wanted to be. But hey, that leaves... you know what I forgot? I haven't connected the Sound Blaster yet, but I will do that off stream. So let's just see if we can still get it to boot with this stuff connected. If we don't, it might actually just be the keyboard or the mouse, which is being a Dickus Maximus, which is also quite possible, of course. Let's switch over to the VGA scene, see what happens. Well, we're still there. Let's get into the BIOS. It's not detecting any hard drive. Where's primary master, secondary master? Can we get an auto on there? It's all looking fine. Fine. Wait, let's see about the boot sequence AC. It's not detecting the CD-ROM, which is annoying. Is it powered? Yeah, it is powered. So that might be something for a later check. It's not detecting any of the drives actually. Huh. That is annoying. And that is something I will need to look into eventually. Let's reset it and remove the flash card quickly. See if that changes anything. No, it's not. Nothing, hey? Well, this is annoying. Let's see if this is working. Should be trying to boot from the Gotek right now, but it doesn't feel like it. Well, this has not been the great success I anticipated, which is pretty annoying, to be fair. But I guess that will be something for another stream, because for now I'll be ending and going to go to bed because it's late and I'm tired and a bit frustrated actually with this, because I don't really know what's causing this at the moment. But hopefully I will figure it out and we'll be having more happy stream times next time. Hey, thank you all for joining me. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for well, watching me get more frustrated near the end of the stream. Guess I'm also just a bit tired. So thanks again for being here, mates. Thanks Raz. Thanks Strider. DeFace. Archetype. Thanks a lot, mates. And see you around. I will. You guys enjoy the verse for a bit more. And I'll be down for ops next time. Cheers guys. Thanks and see you soon.